Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. We're going to do a little card today that's a tri-panel card. It's one of my favorites. It was one a couple of summers ago. Maybe it's been 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know, time, I'm not sure when it was. It was for a demonstrator event that we did. I think it's just been a year ago, maybe a year and a half, for a holiday catalog. So I think it was last year. And we like to come up with names when we do these events together, and then we like make up a name for a card, and then we all do our cards. So I think we called them flip cards, and mine ended up, I called it a tri-panel card. So I've done various versions of them since then. Last year it was last year because I did it with the pumpkin punch and the pumpkins and the apples. And then I also did it with the snowmen, the super cute snowmen. So I will try to, I think the pumpkin ones I actually did for a private class. But if the ones that I can, I will make I'll have them either pop up or I'll make a playlist or put them on my blog or something so you can see the other ones. Because sometimes I do them and they're pretty, not difficult, but I decorate every panel. This one, I'm going to do it super quick. I actually borrowed the stamp set from my daughter. And it's one, if they're able to have a Halloween party, I think they'll use it for their Halloween invitations. So I wanted to keep it simple because I know Halloween cards are fun to send, but not a lot of us do it. So I wanted to keep it simple enough that you might think, well, that's super cute, so maybe I'll do it because, it's 2020. Do something different. Make somebody happy. So I will tell you that she also has the die. It's a little spiderweb die. It hasn't been opened, and I really wanted to use it on this card, but because I was trying to go for simple, I kept it off. But I'm using a Hallows Night Magic for the stamp set. It's so much fun, and it matches the paper. But again, I got all this paper out and I cut it up. So you're going to see another one of those, the stuff that's left lying on my desk cards, because now I've cut paper up that I didn't end up using. But I have the black glimmer paper. I did use it. Oh, you need to have this if you don't have it. Look at it. It's like, it's paper. It's not like our glimmer paper has been in the past. And I'm covering up my paper cutter, which I need for this card. And then the Halloween paper, I know I've showed you it in a couple of videos, but all of our papers, the holiday papers this year, they've done a really good job of one side of it, at least, is holiday. And then the other side, you can use all year round. So you'll be able to, like this side, just stripes. But even this, you have to look really close to see that it has spiderweb. It does have spiderwebs in it. But like I said, I cut it up, and we're going to just end up using a teensy itsy bitsy scrap, and it could have been black cardstock. But then the card was finished, and I had somebody who signed up to join my team. Yay! And so she called, because when you sign up, the starter kit you can't go over. You have to be exact or under. And it's hard to get to exact, but I think she got exact. But she needed a $3 or under item. So when I searched for items that were $3 and under, and we found one, the spritzers. And so when I was done with the card, I thought I could spritz this card. So I'm going to show you how you fill them up. I have one spritzer left, so that's why I haven't done it yet. I think you get 3 in a pack. No, you get 2. So it's a 2-pack. And the reason that I've run out is because it's 2020. And the other thing that these are good for, like when my daughter first went to college, I filled a bunch of them, like with window cleaner, with glasses cleaner. But this year, I filled a whole bunch of them with hand sanitizer, because I have a ton of hand sanitizer in a huge gallon thing, because that's what we use to clean our stamps. So if you could see to my side in my very messy office, I have a little thing where I've pumped hand sanitizer in it, and that's how we clean our blocks. But I filled them with hand sanitizer when it was hard to find, because then I gave it to my dad and to people who weren't taking it out when they needed to at the very beginning of the whole thing. So now I'm down to 1. So I need to order some more, but they're great. I put a lot of eyeglass cleaner in them because, when you wear glasses all the time, you're always running out. So if you have a table you care about, you'll want to protect your surface. So you can fill them with all kinds of stamp stuff. I mean, that's what they're for. They're not for hand sanitizer. So I'm going to fill this one with alcohol. So this is just regular rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to try to be careful. I'm actually, if you caught our live yesterday, then you saw that we made mask mist. And so once I get the stuff in, it will be one of my camp projects. If you live in Indy, we'll be making little tiny mist things for your mask. And then there was a little part of me that's like, I hope we're still wearing masks at the end of September. No. If we're not wearing masks, that would be perfectly okay with me. But I have a feeling we are. So that's why I have this little squirty thing. It's to go with the mask things. But I don't have the stuff I'm going to put the little mask things in. So I've got alcohol. Now you could put ink refills. If you have the pigment sprinkles or the brushes, those could go in here. I am going to use, because it's a Halloween card, the Frost White Shimmer Paint. So just shake that up. And for this, you can just pour it in here because it doesn't come out fast enough that it makes a mess. So literally just pour it in here. The reason you're using alcohol and not water is because the alcohol will dry quickly. So you can see I've got about this much alcohol and about that much of the white shimmer paint. So I wanted you to see me do that. Then you just put this on. They have a lid on them. And then we'll just shake it up. And then at the end, I will spray it on my card and you'll see how pretty it is. I tend to use, it's not something that shows up a lot on spring and summer projects. It shows up a lot more on winter, like Christmas and winter projects. But it's perfect for this Halloween one. So I just wanted to show you how I got that full because I didn't have one. And now let's stamp. So I'm going to aim my camera down and we'll get to the card. So I'm going to do a little bit of stamping first before I run it through my cut and emboss. So I have some shimmer white cardstock and I'm just going to use stamps out of the stamp set. There isn't like a good order to do these cards, just because of the stamping and the embossing kind of going funky orders. So this is the one that goes, there's really pretty frames and borders in this that you can use all year round. So you can see this has spider webs and roses. It reminds me, the stamp set reminds me of the Haunted Mansion at Disney, which, you know, we're supposed to be there in October, except COVID. So my niece has spent nearly all of her 18 birthdays at Disney. Yeah, she's a little spoiled. But this is her 18th year and she's a high school senior. So we were supposed to go spend it with her. We went a couple of Octobers ago. And, you know, there's no place that's any more fun for a child or for adults than Disney World at Halloween. And then here's 2 lacy bats. But that's what this set reminds me of. And if you go to Disney World at Halloween, then you get to dress up if you go to the Halloween party. So our whole entire family was Alice in Wonderland because it was Mackenzie's birthday, so she got to pick. So got those stamped. I'm going to let those sit for just a second. And then you need to take, this is a 12-inch piece of cardstock. And we do have 12 by 12 cardstock. And I have cut it down to 5.5 by 12. And then you need to score it. So I have my score here. Make sure you're using your scoring blade and not your trimming blade. Last time we had a Zoom class with my demonstrator team and they did 10 projects. So that's a lot for us to do together. But because they didn't have, I was telling them how to do them and I didn't have the paper because I sold out. So there was a little confusion. So this one was, we should have done it first and not waited till the end because that's a lot of projects to do. But they all scored at 8.5 by 11. So you do need a 12 by 12 piece to do a project like this. So it scores correctly. So I've just scored it 4 inches from each end. But our 12 by 12 packs of paper come in the color families. So this is from the neutrals. And then you're just going to Z-fold it. And then take your bone folder and just make sure your creases are nice and crisp. So a Z fold, if you don't know, it's the letter Z. That's what a Z fold means. So now we just have that. Now we can do all of our cutting. So let's get our cut and boss over here. And you can buy these now. They're for sale to customers. If you buy one from me through September 6th, then I'll give you a magnetic platform for free and your choice of folder through the entire months of September. If you get one from me, you get to pick a folder. And then I'm also going to have, for everybody that gets one in September, we'll be doing a class. 4 classes actually. So this is one of the one of the dies that comes in this set. Just lay it on top. The whole thing is all 3 pieces just folded together. So I'm just going to cut this one first. Would be a little bit handy to have the magnetic platform, maybe. Mine's on its way, but I'm not quite sure, because the secret to this card is to just roll it once through all 3 thicknesses of the cardstock, because you don't want it to cut through the back piece. And sometimes on the specialty platforms, because I don't have anyone yet, so I don't know, but sometimes they're harder, and so it does cut. Because see, we don't want this last piece. We want this to stay intact. And then it's a really pretty beveled. So you can already see, those of you that follow me know this stuff ends up on my desk. And then I have to do more cards of the stuff that's on my desk. So we have this middle one here, and it does come out. But we didn't want that last one to come out. And sometimes, hopefully the magnetic platform will hold. And then you just need to do your other cuts. So we have this one, and then it has a little frame that does this piece. And I'm not going to do the bats at the same time just because they're kind of close together. But I have my black glimmer paper, and I'm going to do those bats. It's a little chunk of bats. So just roll those through once. We have this, and then we have, here's the only piece of all of, I was going to use the spiders because the spiders are a theme on the card, but I ended up liking this side better. And then I have the sticker paper, and it is in the catalog. I'll put a link on it because this is fabulous. So you just get the sticky side and just put it on here, so you've made a sticker on here. So I got that piece, and then this really pretty border. So you can see the frames and the border, you can use those all year round. And there's also a flower and a leaf, which I'm not using. So just stick that on there. And then I need my bats from this one. And the die, well, I'm gonna do it separate. I'll do this one first because I need 2 of these, and it's not gonna fit. So we'll do this one. And again, just one pass. I haven't found anything so far since I've had the new die cut machine that needs more than one pass, but this does need, because it has the sticker paper on it, it helps. It's a little sturdier if you just use your roller. I'll now put this back on here. And then I should have room for my bats, because now my paper's not so big. If I know where I put my, here it is. So see, both of these are attached. So you only have to roll these once, and they match just perfectly with the stamp. So roll those through. The bats come apart once they've rolled through. So now we just need to stick all this together, and it's so much fun sticking it together. So let's start with our front panels first. So you need the scrap piece of paper. Where did I lay it? Well, I know I just had it here because I made my little potion on top of it. And it fell on the floor. Because if you could see the rest of my desk, you would see what true life looks like. So let's start just with our first page. And so we're going to take, I'm sure it's your favorite stamp, out of the set. We're going to take the tiny little spider. I didn't use the big spider. Actually, I did use it, and then I didn't end up putting it on the card because it has a die. But we're just going to take the tiny little spider. We're just going to add some spiders to our card because, you know, it's a Halloween card. And it's last year's Halloween set was a little bit more of a more childlike. This is a little bit more grown up. It's a little bit more of a grown up Halloween card. But super fun. And I know several people whose birthdays are either on Halloween or Halloween week. This would make a super fun adult Halloween birthday card. I also have a friend whose favorite quote is pretty much "bite me." So this would be, I'm sure that she would like this stamp set because it goes right along with her motto in life. So we've got this, super cute. And then let's just color in some of our stuff. So we need to color in our little, this will be our back focal image, and then we've got our little bats. So I just went for simple colors, and I was kind of going for the paper that I didn't end up using. So I've got light seafoam, and I'm literally just going to take the brush tip and on the leaves here, just add a wisp of green. There's no blending. There's no any special talent needed. A 2-year-old could do it because I'm not even really staying in the lines. So for this, it's just adding that hint of green to those leaves. Really, the only talent is making sure that you got them all. So that's it for the green. And then I did color wisps of him. Now, when you do these cards, and because they kind of overgo, I'm going more for like a shadow in the night. Not like so much the bats colored, but more of the overall feel of it. And because these are gonna show on window cards, like you often see the back side of it, so I'm just gonna make sure that a little bit of my back is colored as well. Because, you know, when you blend with a blend, even if it's just a little bit, the back's gonna show through. So got a little bit of that there. And then for my roses, I went with light blackberry. And again, just a smudge of the blackberry because I want to ever so faint the color. And there, we don't have any really, really light pinks except for petal pink, and that was not the pink I was going for. I didn't want it to be like a romantic pink. So just add a little bit of color there. And then I'm going to take my color lifter, and that's what I'm going to be to just make this kind of like a blurry, foggy, in the night color. So just kind of move that blackberry around. And it's a dark enough color that it will leave that hint there, but you can move it and kind of just move it all around. Same thing with our bat here. Just move that all around. And I'll show you what I mean by the back of this one because he's tiny, and see he's got a little bit back there. So what's kind of fun on these then is I turned them around and see how much that's on the back. But then I found if I took my light smoky slate and just kind of gave some brush tip back here, so they were more smoky slate on the back because that's what color my card is. And not the whole thing's going to show. It's mostly just these tips that stick out. But then it also gave like some hints of smoky slate through. And then just take your color lifter again because you're just going for wisps of color, not colored in. But it kind of pulls when you do this. I did the same thing a long time ago on the sunflower, which is a totally different card. But when I was coloring the center of that giant sunflower we have right now, I colored the back because sometimes the bleed through look is more what you're going for. So that's all the coloring that we need. Now we just need to put this thing together. You do need to stamp your words on here. And I was torn because there's one that says open if you dare that I kind of liked for a trifold card. But then this one says there's magic in this night. And I liked that one. So that's the one I'm going for. And my daughter hasn't stuck her stickers on because she is her mother's daughter. So we're just going to hope that I stamp straight. I didn't want to stick the stickers on for her and stick them crooked and then have her be irritated with her mommy that I didn't get them on there right. So there is magic in this night. I did like the open if you dare, and I thought about putting it on the front of the card, but again, I was trying to go for simple, which if you know me, that's not my forte. So you're gonna take one of these and see how pretty the bevels are on it. It's super, super pretty. And it gets a little bit more beveled. I know you may have seen, like when I usually have some on my desk in my little stash, but I did clean up. It's just gotten messy. When I do these triple panels, there is one for Ornate Garden as well. Because when I did it doesn't punch out all the holes on the top and it makes a really pretty one. So always the top one is a little bit more pronounced than a normal die. And I'm using Seal Plus because a lot of this is barely gonna have anything on it to hold it together. Because we don't want any, like all of the things that kind of overhang. So for this one, where you see that little indent back there, that's exactly where this is gonna go. So it just tells you to line that right back up in there. And then you can see your saying all the way through. Then this is the funnest part. This is some of what's been laying on my desk because I still have some pieces cut from my Try It class. So what I'm gonna do, this is why I have these pieces. I am gonna put a little bit of Seal Plus, just a tiny bit right there. And I'm gonna stick this here. And I'm gonna make a really pretty spider web by wrapping this around here. And then it's gonna end up on the back. There's not quite enough because it wasn't designed for this project. So if you design it for this project, by all means, do it once more. But I'm still in using up scraps for the things that I cut, just a fraction. Because when you cut for a giant class, then I just make sure I have enough because there's nothing worse than doing a ton of packets and getting to the end and needing to go cut one more of something. So I had like 4 or 5 extras of these. So there we've got some spider web. Look how fun that is. But that leaves this tiny bit of, like, put as little bit as you can there. And so now we have this little sticker bit. And just pull the sticker off the back. The first time I designed it, and it was just my mock-up, I didn't put this sticker on, but trying to get some more adhesive over the top of more adhesive, it wasn't holding the ribbon. This is enough now to hold that ribbon down and it stays perfectly in place. But you also have a little bit over here, which if you were doing this on your own and cutting your own ribbon to size, you wouldn't necessarily end up with this because you could end up back over there. So you would only need one. But if you watch some of my other videos on these cards, like I said, I often decorate every single one of these panels because you got 6 panels, so you can decorate all of them if you like. But because I was going for simple on this, I didn't. But it does give you one more little place in here to put something fun. And it just holds the ribbon right in place. And again, this really looks like the Haunted Mansion to me, all the wrought iron outside. So now we've got our little bat here. And if it hangs off here anywhere, just trim that off. It's a fraction too big. I just cut those 4 inches because each panel is 4 inches. So now what you want to do, this is where, see when you flip it over, you're going to see some of this, but now it's gray. So he's going to go in a little bit. But you don't have a whole lot of room on here. So I'm going to put my adhesive on here, right there. And that's why I'm using Seal Plus, because it's super strong and it'll be enough to hold him on there. So now we have a bat that's going through here. Let's get our little black glimmer bats that we popped out of here. And this little thing did 3 of them. So just take one of these, and again, as tiny bit of this as you can get on here. Stick one here. So now we have one on, isn't it so cute? So we got 2 of those here. So now let's open up. And then we want to be able to see through this next panel, but you don't want to cover up this. So you kind of work like in a window. So again, I'm just tiny bit right here. And the nice thing about the Seal Plus, if you haven't used it, it folds in on itself. So now fold this in and then just kind of look through your window and stick that on. And now you can see how this is kind of, now we've got that fun night sky on the back of that. So then we have 2 more of these. So I'm going to put one here on my main panel. Got little bits everywhere from my lattice. Put that there. And then we got one more. And you want to do the same thing where you want to be able to see it from all 3 panels. So just a tiny bit on his one wing. You can use the green glue if you want. I really like this new seal for this because the green glue takes a minute to dry, so you kind of have to wait for and do each panel as it's drying. And this is so sticky that will hold fine. So now we've got all 3 panels, and they kind of have this window through. So 2 more things to do. The iridescent pearls are part of this suite. And they're purpley and green and black. So let's add a few of those to the front. And then we can just squirt our stuff on. My other one doesn't have the stuff squirted on because you just saw me made it. So let's put one there. And one down here. And one up there. And then you just take your stuff. And when you use this, especially if you're using it at camp, I usually make sure that they know where they're aiming, because if you spray funny, just give this another shake because it's been sitting here and so the stuff separates. I hope I have an one of these because I'm hoping to send to my new girl one of these since she got these. Since she needed $3 item and I had her get these, I'm hoping that I have an unopened, an unopened shimmer paint to give her. I should probably get something a little bigger, but you know, my table's a mess. So if it gets a little shimmer mess on top of it, so just squirt. And because it's the alcohol, it will dry super fast. And that's why you don't want to use water, because the water would just make your card. So I'm gonna spray this one. You can already see. And then I'm going to compare it to my other one so you can see the difference that the shimmer paint makes. So super pretty. I'm not going to spray the back of that one. That way, when you open the back panel, it does give you a little whiff of alcohol. So there we go for that one. Where did I put my cap? Here it is. So here's this one. And it can get a little warpy, so sometimes I just lay something heavy on top of it, which a nice thing is the magnetic platform or any of the platforms from your die cut machine. So here's this one. See how shimmer it is now compared to this one? Non-shimmer. But it's a perfect, that white shimmer paint with this card. And you can see my bats are a little bit different. How much fun is that? And it doesn't take long at all. And if you are making several of them for invitations, they would go super fast because you would just be doing all your bats at once. Super fun. So I hope you like that. If you're interested in joining my team, maybe I can help you come up with a $3 or less item to fill out the rest of your starter kit. So today I did film a few videos, and then tomorrow it's going to be all office stuff. And part of it is making welcome kits and sending out stuff to all the girls that are already on my team. So it is fun stuff, but I like the stamping part of my job the very best. So everybody have a great day. Bye.